Where love is, there God is also. In the city lived Martin Avdiyeich, a shoemaker. He lived in a basement, in a little room with one window. The window looked out on the street. Through the window he used to watch the people passing by, although only their feet could be seen. Yet by the boots Martin Avdiyeich recognized their owners. Martin Avdiyeich had lived long in one place, and had many acquaintances. Few pairs of boots in his district had not been in his hands once and again. Some he would half sole, some he would patch, some he would stitch around, and occasionally he would also put on new uppers. And through the window he quite often recognized his work. Avdiyeich had plenty to do, because he was a faithful workman, used good material, did not make exorbitant charges, and kept his word. If he can finish an order by a certain time, he accepts it. If not, he will not deceive you. He tells you so beforehand. And all knew Avdiyeich, and he was never out of work. Avdiyeich had always been a good man. But as he grew old, he began to think more about his soul, and get nearer to God. Martin's wife had died when he was still living with his master. His wife left him a boy 3 years old. None of their other children had lived. All the eldest had died in childhood. Martin at first intended to send his little son to his sister in the village, but afterwards he felt sorry for him. He thought to himself, "It will be hard for my Kapitoshka to live in a strange family. I shall keep him with me." And Avdiyeich left his master and went into lodgings with his little son. But through God's will, Avdiyeich had no luck with children. As Kapitoshka grew older, he began to help his father, and would have been a delight to him, but fell sick, went to bed, suffered a week, and died. Martin buried his son and fell into despair. So deep was this despair that he began to complain of God. Martin fell into such a melancholy state that more than once he prayed to God for death, and reproached God, because he did not take away him who was an old man, instead of his beloved only son. Avdiyeich also ceased to go to church. And once a little old man, a fellow countryman, came from Troitsa, Trinity, to see Avdiyeich. For 7 years he had been absent. Avdiyeich talked with him, and began to complain about his sorrows. "I have no more desire to live," he said. "I only wish I was dead. That is all I pray God for. I am a man without anything to hope for now." And the little old man said to him, "You don't talk right, Martin. We must not judge God's doings. The world moves not by your skill, but by God's will. God decreed for your son to die, for you to live. Consequently, it is for the best. And you are in despair because you wish to live for your own happiness." "But what shall one live for?" asked Martin. And the little old man said, "We must live for God, Martin. He gives you life, and for his sake you must live. When you begin to live for him, you will not grieve over anything, and all will seem easy to you." Martin kept silent for a moment, and then says, "But how can one live for the sake of God?" And the little old man said, "Christ has taught us how to live for God. You know how to read? Buy a testament and read it. There you will learn how to live for God. Everything is explained there." And these words kindled a fire in Avdiyeich's heart. And he went that very same day, bought a New Testament in large print, and began to read. At first Avdiyeich intended to read only on holidays, but as he began to read, it so cheered his soul that he used to read every day.